All right. Hope everything's working all right.
This on one platform. This on go. Turn on all the notifications then.
Call my name.
Oh, no, Twitter one. There it is. Okay, so got a pre-show topic for you.
Okay.
A dev from Bandai Namco that's worked on games like Dot Hack series, the Kakarot single-player game that was done for DBZ recently, the Naruto Ninja Storm games, was giving a lecture at a game-related vocational school in Japan.
Okay.
And asked the students what consoles they have, only to find out that these students at a game vocational school, 90% of them didn't have anything but a Switch and a phone.
There you go.
Which surprised this dev.
Yeah.
Because they said, I haven't, or speaking of them, saying that by making that statement, they were saying, I haven't even made the minimum preparations to aim for the game industry. And the argument that this dev made was by not having those consoles but wanting to be in game development, you weren't able to play the games that were grabbing people on all the different consoles, the exclusive titles, and were missing out on important lessons in game design that they needed to be acquiring.
Sure.
And I just thought that was really interesting. And so, in response to this, Twitter, as it always does, blew this out of proportion. And the question was raised, well, couldn't they just see gameplay from those games and then learn those lessons? Why should somebody that's a game dev be expected to own all the consoles? Which is not what they said. But
right.
What do you think about that? Do you think that...
And you play, each controller is different for each system. Each game's got a different control scheme. The controls feel different. Sometimes they feel loose. Sometimes they feel tight. There's just a lot of little minuscule things you'll get from that. I mean, I guess you don't have to have it, but it'd be kind of dumb not to.
Right. If I was going to make a farming RPG, I would probably want to play Stardew Valley first and see what it did.
There's a few of them.
So I could learn. You know, I'd want to play Harvest Moon and things like that, you know. Come on, Trey. Hey, well, if I was trying to make a shooter in today's climate, I would check out Call of Duty. I would check out Battlefield, you know.
Yeah. Well, even still, you know, I expect at least a PC.
Right.
What do you make the game on?
Yeah, exactly. So it was pretty
up,
surprising
Rundgren.
for me, and then to see that this dev was like flabbergasted by this. Hey, Dark, and went into basically like a really good like breakdown of why it's important and everything from their perspective. And you can check out that full thread on Twitter if you want to. It's Peroshi is the dev, but yeah.
But you don't have to be, you know, you don't have to be a decent typer to be a coder, but, you know, knowing how to type would probably go a long way.
Yeah, exactly.
Going that, so.
I firmly agree. It would be like somebody saying, yeah, I want to make a game. I've never looked into what a game is like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, even when you look at like action games lately, right?
Very slow pecking.
Right. If you took like a DMC versus God of War reboot and Final Fantasy 16, right? Nice, Will. If you took those two games and compared them to a DMC, they're on a completely different level, right? Like DMC is a completely different game from those two, even though they're still action games. And if you just go, well, yeah, I play games on a phone, you're probably not going to get all the perspective that you would get from checking out some other types of games.
Yeah, but there is now, and it's been this way for a few years, but just more and more so each year. There's, because Unreal 5's out now.
Yeah.
There's a slew of games that are basically, they're not the same game, but the way you control them, interact, and interact with the world, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
And they feel the same as far as movement goes and things like that.
Yeah.
So I think that might be like a little bit to do with, I don't need all that. It's just the same across all the others, just all these little things,
Right. It very well could be. Also, yes, there is a Diablo on the phone. And I would be really curious to know what your game idea is, Dark. Hello, Faith. I just found it to be a really interesting topic.
This time. Harem game are we playing? No.
Don't you guys have phones? 16. I'll talk about it in a little bit. I also love 16. We got some weird, when we get to reviews, we got to talk about some weird stuff with 16.
Okay.
But Pong in your head. Okay. 14 and 15. You haven't played 15 yet, though, have you? Maybe you have at this point. I just remember at one point you had owned 15 for like 4 years and hadn't played it yet.
Yes.
I don't blame you. Just, I get it. In that you played like 4 hours. Okay. Is in the Halo-esque game, are you playing Pong? Because that could be cool.
Around our heads, you got ideas.
Disappointed! Clive is the main character, and he's pretty. I like Clive. Controller makes you mad. I understand. Well, we should probably start this thing.
All right.
Oh, I got that. I was just also trying to make a Pong.
Fair enough.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Full Spectrum Podcast. My name is Trey.
I am Rungren.
And it's hot where we live, and we got stuff to talk about, and lights are on to facilitate shows, and it is not helping the heat. Dark, do you think I don't know that? That's why I just keep making them, because eventually one of them will land. $15's on PC now, too, for what it's worth. I'm not saying that you should also pick it up there. I do. I know it. I just know it so well that I can't give up. I always fire like 5 shots at a time, hoping that one of them will connect, basically. They never do. But, do we have a pop quiz this week? Can we just move on?
Pop quiz? With that, I got an easy one. I think it should be easy. I think most people get a lot of these, but I do have a red pen. I am serious.
Nice. Okay.
One wrong. So I figured if I give you a few softballs this week, right?
Okay.
So Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
And I will need full names. Okay?
Okay.
So, for example, number 1, who is Luke Skywalker's twin sister?
Leia, Bail, Organa.
Very good. Very good. All right. What color is Mace Windu's lightsaber?
Purple.
Very good. What's the name of Han Solo's ship?
The Millennium Falcon.
All right. And who is the main antagonist of the original Star Wars trilogy?
Emperor Palpatine.
No,
Darth Vader technically, but
yeah, it's Darth Vader.
Okay.
On that, let's do that. I'll give you half an answer on that one. Got to use my red pen.
The funniest thing is, I know a lot about some Star Wars things, nothing about others, And when you said full names, my brain went Jorah Sabaoth. Like, that's one of those things that's not going to come up. Like,
Yeah. This is the first Star Wars quiz, so it's nice and light. It's that. The iconic weapon of the Jedis.
a lightsaber.
Very good. So who trained Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Obi-Wan Kenobi was trained by Qui-Gon Jinn.
Leah's full name? Yeah, Leah Organa. Sorry, I didn't mean to be moving so fast. I did.
Alexa, stop.
I am going quick.
Alexa's giving me a dossier on Qui-Gon Jinn over here.
Right. Now, he's a popular character that they did wrong.
Yeah.
Huey's homeworld.
Kashyyyk.
Okay.
Kashyyyk.
But that's
K-A-S-H-Y-Y-K?
YYYK.
Ah, I would have missed a Y. Yeah.
There's 3 Y's in a row. I don't know why. Yes, it is. Kashyyyk. So, other than that, I'll get into who is the leader of the Rebel Alliance in the original Star Wars trilogy?
Oh, it's Mon Mothma.
Yes, it is. It's Mon. So, who is the supreme leader of the First Order in the sequel trilogy?
Snoke.
Excellent. Didn't know that one. Fair enough. Fair enough. And an easy one to finish out with. Where'd they find Anakin?
On Tatooine.
On Tatooine. Yes. Yes. So you got half a point off. I felt for sure you should have a full 100 on this.
Yeah. I would have if I hadn't jumped. I jumped for an answer.
Well, yes. I gave you a half point for that one.
I appreciate it.
That'd be like a 95. That'd be okay. I'm going next. You will get another Star Wars quiz sometime in the future. But fair enough. But it's going to go a little deeper.
Will Jorah Sabaoth ever come up?
Not now.
Look, there are 3 names that I love that don't count anymore, and I hate that. It's Mara Jade, Talon Card, and Jorah Sabaoth.
Yes. Well, I think they're trying to get Thrawn kick-started in the...
Yeah, he's not Legends anymore. He's canon again.
Yeah.
Which, Grand Admiral Thrawn had an interaction with Talon Card, so technically Talon Card's canon again, right? I'm just saying.
I guess. Right? I don't know. Could be, possibly.
Mara Jade always counts in my book.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, then we will kick it into Gundam!
Yeah, we finished up Igloo.
Yeah, both Apocalypse 0079 and Gravity Well.
Yeah. The last 3, that little arc is probably my least favorite out of them because they're kind of, in my mind, they're grouped in 3s, and that's why they got them labeled, right?
Yeah.
That last arc was probably my least favorite. But it was still good.
Yeah. You know, I think the only episode of Apocalypse 0079 that was bad was the one with the Marine.
Yeah?
I think that one was kind of bad. But the other 2 there were really good. And then, like you said, the Gravity Well ones were just rough some ways.
Yeah.
We gonna get into it? Are we gonna get into it? Go ahead. You go ahead with what you got first, because mine is gonna be a rant, and I'll hold off on it.
I just like them going to. It's like, yeah, there's this big, massive war, and then that's not. This is about the people in the war.
Yeah,
not just the main players. And I think like the first, I think it was the second episode of the whole thing. The guy, trying to prove that tanks are still good.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was a really good showing through that.
Hidalgo was,
even though the last 3 were the weakest ones, or least favorite, there was still some great stuff in there.
Oh yeah, I really liked the Big Rang.
Hurry up, Ryan!
And everything to do with the Big Rang helping out the little pods. A model kit of the Hidalgo would be amazing.
Yeah,
that'd be great. I kind of liked as much as I don't like a lot of the stuff in Gravity Well. I kind of liked the guy that took out 17 Zaku's with rocket teams.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, man.
Yeah. That was those are good. Also, it just these ones we watched, it just clears up so much more about the original Gundam. Like stuff like the tank guy in it too.
Yeah.
Maybe so. Because I really like the whole thing where they show the last one where they show why there's a gun tank.
Yeah.
That was actually shut down in production. There shouldn't have been one, but they because of events, they came through and had it.
Those gun tanks were great too.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got to talk about it, right? We can't keep skirting around it. The God of Death.
Yeah.
If it is a metaphorical representation of the pressure that war brings and PTSD, then I think that's fine. But the fact that the God of Death gives information to characters and is treated as it exists in scenes without people experiencing it,
yeah,
which makes it seem like it is a physical presence or a metaphysical presence in the area that is influencing the war.
Yeah, I don't know. She acted. I mean, if that's what death looks like when I pass away, that'll be reassuring in some way. She's kind of hot.
Yeah,
but I don't know. She seemed to act more like she seemed to be looking for something. She wanted vengeance, and that's what she showed up for. Is the people who had heartbreak and vengeance.
See, I would agree with you, Dark, except it's seen by the guy that isn't dying. The guy that doesn't die in the tank episode of Gravity Well. It's seen by the tank driver.
I see it by I can see it on your shoulder. Yeah.
It's recognized by people that aren't the ones dying, and it has multiple scenes where it's talking to the audience like it's its own thing.
Maybe.
If that's what it is, I'm way happier than what it seems like. Because what it seems like, where it is a physical creature that talks about coming to this earth, none of that works for me. If it's supposed to be an alien, I don't like that at all.
Well, it's just, I know they get kind of wild with some of the new type powers and everything. Mm-hmm. It just feels like a real supernatural step for Gundam.
Yeah.
It doesn't, in my mind, it just doesn't kind of fit in there, right?
Yeah. Sure, but Death's been on Earth for a long time. It doesn't have to come with the war. It was already there.
I don't know. It was just, it seemed an interesting thing. I thought the design of her eyes were really cool. The double iris to it working that. So I thought the design was really cool. I think somebody just designed someone was trying to figure out how to get them into into something they were doing. Yeah, her eyes are great. Yeah. That iris look they had to it. They had the pupil going. A lot of the close-ups. It was really good.
It almost feels to me like there was a leftover design from Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
Right.
And they went, hey, I know where we can use it.
Yeah, the gun tank episode wasn't bad, but it didn't. That was almost probably the most cliche of the stories to me.
Yeah.
I
think so too. I also didn't. Oh, go ahead.
They take something that could be deep and just kind of make it shallow.
Mm-hmm. I also didn't realize it while we were watching it, but I think that's the only time that it clips canon where it doesn't actually line up right, because during Odessa Day there was only 3 Daboods that were even involved in the operation, and you expect me to believe they both were on this same section of the same battlefield?
Yeah, that's why Amuro only had to fight one.
Yeah. It's not that God of Death. It's not Duo Maxwell. We're gonna get to Duo Maxwell, but no, it was the first time that I was like, I don't think that quite works. Whereas all the other ones, I was like, yeah, no, sure, okay.
Yeah.
It's in this section of the battlefield,
Yeah, that was probably the most clear about where it was in the battle, too.
Yeah.
Right? Hold on.
Yeah, it's fully. It makes no sense that she gets imprisoned when it's supposed to be like a what's it called? Double action spy? That's not the right term.
Yeah, no, it was bad, and she disobeyed orders.
Yeah.
Don't attack that one, finish this one off. And she completely disobeyed orders. I don't understand why she was in prison.
Yeah.
In the beginning. I think that was just to add more emphasis to the betrayal, maybe.
I guess so. Also, out of all the battlefields that plot could have happened on, it happens on the one where there's a Xeon spy, like a Federation spy that's working for Xeon.
Yeah.
So, sure, clearly, at some point, that guy would have got found out, right? For giving information back? Like,
I don't know. Maybe he hadn't been doing it very long.
I guess so.
Fresh.
The only time where I was like, I don't think this makes sense in the plot of the universe.
She might have been supposed to finish out by kamikaze. I think the kamikaze line is because there was a couple of them that was, they were like, okay, we're doing it.
Yeah.
We can't do it without this, so we're gonna drive into it.
Yeah.
So a couple did kamikaze, and then Xeon took it like, these folks are crazy, they're all gonna kamikaze. Okay, I missed that part, but yeah, that's kind of
that makes a lot more sense now that you point that out, Dark, because the guy that rams into the enemy and then grabs him and blows up, I thought at first he fired and it didn't go off. But it makes way more sense that why would you make a gun tank with that attachment? Why would you not just put a regular tank with explosives on it?
You got to put in a code and then it'll self-destruct.
Yeah. And then it says 4403 will explode. It.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least it knows its name.
Yeah, right.
No,
definitely the weakest on it. My least favorite out of all of them.
Mm-hmm. I enjoyed Igloo a lot.
Yeah, me too.
It was really good. I think it's up there with like 0080 for me when it comes to like side stories in Gundam. War in the Pocket was really good, and this to me was really, really solid.
Yeah. Like I said, the one that the tank driver episode is the one that stands out to me over all of them, and I enjoyed most of it. There was something that was good filmmaking, I think.
Yeah. Why did the Zuda guy blow himself up that way? Why wouldn't he just turn back around and hit them while they're like malfunctioning? Because he's going so much faster than. That also is not a Federation style move. Like the Federation are jerks. That's 100% a Titans move, right?
Xeon move.
Yeah.
That's something that I would see Xeon doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting, the idea, because they really like build up Xeon Empire in places, but they always want to keep this little gap.
Yeah. And
I don't know if that's because, talking about kamikaze attacks and stuff, but going back to the World War II era was like, those were allies, and as you're putting in here, they're allies. And I think there's some nod to, yes, they were our allies, but we're not there. We're not doing that.
I don't think it's that era Federation move. I think it's a Federation move later on, sure, yeah. But that era, we don't really see them do anything like that.
Yeah.
We just see them be stupid. We don't see them be
malicious. And one episode of Igloo, when they dropped the space colony, and there's a bunch of Xeon people that they didn't know about the operation. They just see it go by.
Yep.
Like, what are we doing?
Yep.
This isn't right.
I also really like how terrifying Zaku's are presented in these last 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Like, from the ground, that is one of the most horrifying things you could ever see.
Yeah, when you have nothing, by the end of it, they have, our Federation has suits and stuff to help, but when you've got nothing to face that, then those are the death gods, right?
That's right, yeah. This is no Zaku. You're right, Faith. We do get to see a goof get killed in here, and it does make me sad.
Yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts on Igloo before we move on?
No, I think G next.
Yeah, G Gundam. I have the physical disc for that,
Okay.
but it's. I'm going to word this very carefully. It is not the official version of the disc, so I also have it digitally. And so we will see which one we need. Yeah, watch out, bearded man.
Suit, the one they burned up. Yeah. If you get going too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this speed, we're outrunning the bad guys, so it's all right.
Yeah, that felt like a Xeon move for me for sure. When they were like, "Yeah, we just renumbered it." Like, yeah, okay. Yeah, the suit is a cool suit. All right, well, throw it over to weeks then. I'm really excited to talk about G Gundam next week. I think it's gonna be a fun time. So, how's your week been?
It's been all right. I did a little work Monday. It was Monday. We played ran through Moria some more.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool to see all for.
Yeah. So that was fun. Really not a lot going on. I did play extra Lotro this week trying to get to 60.
Right.
I failed, but turns out we didn't need it. I just apparently need to get to 59, I guess.
Yeah.
Through there. Been playing been running through Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Enjoy that quite a bit. I don't know why Link doesn't just settle down with Regia, but whatever. I didn't write the story.
That's fair.
Right now, because obviously Zelda's into Space Llamas.
Yeah.
You know, and those things are huge. You can't match up. Regia's into you. Go with Regia.
Also, Purra's an option there, you know.
Purra, yeah.
She's like 200 years old, but, you know, it's fine.
Yeah. Nice. Purra and Regia are really, really cute. The design, the way they set them up. They've
also, like, the best glow up, right? Read you in the first game, a child. Read you in the second game, twin blades out of her back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think it's been months since the end of the Wild. It seems like it's been about, I'm going to say at least 15 years.
Right.
But that's another thing. They are. I like the design of that, design of each creature, because they brought, like, you've got the Zora and the fish people, but they're not designed like 99% of the people in the world would draw fish people. You know, you start with a fish kind of body and maybe arms, legs, try to figure something in. Now, the fish part of them's their head and hair. Mm-hmm. Their whole head, that is it's a complete shark or whatever. You know? I will say Prince Sidon's girlfriend, fiance, is kind of goofy looking, though.
I like her.
The Gorgons are nothing special, but I mean, they live in rock. They just things. But I think the Rito, I think the designs are very good. Yeah. And having Gerudo, they're I just like that. That's a really cool setup for their history and design and everything, and how they go out in the world.
Yeah. It is a very good game, and I think it was made really well. And I finished it this last week, and have not yet recorded the review because I'm not sure how I want to word it all yet. But I will not spoil anything for anybody. Just it's a really good game.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you like Breath of the Wild, I think you'll like this. It feels a little weird getting started on it. I didn't have to save on this Switch. I should have transferred it over before I started, because you get some stuff from if you completed Breath of the Wild and had the DLC and everything. Yeah. Or I have a theory. I haven't seen how this story ends. I gotta wait.
They do need men.
They do need men to do it,
and they go steal men.
Yeah. No, Ganon's not the only male.
They do have men.
They do have men, but they are very, very rarely born.
Mm-hmm.
But like the Gerudo leave, when they reach a certain age, they leave the Gerudo village and they travel Hyrule, looking for a Vo to love.
Yep. In Ocarina of Time, they would cross the river, the valley, I guess, and they would steal men from their wives. And then after they'd kept them there for a while, they'd let them leave.
Yeah. Well, I used you.
So,
yeah.
The Gerudo's a really interesting culture that I think needs more focus, but I don't know how you give it more focus and still have the main character be Link. Like, it gets a lot of focus in this game and in Breath of the Wild, but I'd love to get to play as a Gerudo at some point, but I don't see that really happening other than the Musou games.
Yeah, probably not. It's well done. I have a theory, but I got to see how the game ends first. My hypothesis right now is there's going to actually be a third one of these.
Okay.
And I don't know how the exactly how they worked out. I wasn't sure how they're going to work this one out. Pretty decent job telling around the story to get it done, right? But I think there'll be a third one.
I think tentatively, I need more time to sit on it. This is like right up there story wise with Twilight Princess for me. I think story wise, you have two incredibly strong games in Tears of the Kingdom and in Twilight Princess. Oh yeah, it wasn't updating. There's a whole comments there. I had just started talking. In that case, I will hold off for another second and take a quick drink.
Yeah, I got a. Yeah, I don't know if Restream's dropping them or what, because I've got Restream up to check on chat.
Yeah, right. Restream missed a couple comments from Dark, mostly just interested that they steal men, and then said make Linkle playable, and then give us lesbian Gerudo ladies. But I think story-wise, this is right up there with Twilight Princess, which is like my favorite Zelda story is Twilight Princess. So for me to be like up at that level is like, woo, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good. And it's got some heartstrings. They know their audience. There's a ridiculous amount of like little nods to past Zelda games, right? Through there. I think, like I said, when they started talking about making a second one from Breath of the Wild, one of the things that was in the early discussions was going beyond Hyrule.
Right.
Like of Hyrule, but then that big valley where the lands, you could go there. Yes.
Twilight Princess.
Yeah, that was good. That was I played that on Switch.
Yeah,
Switch version with the motion controls. It was fun. Not Wii.
I knew what you meant when you said with the motion controls.
Yes. Well, Switch has motion controls too.
Yeah, that's true.
The only time I like it is when I'm fine tuning my arrow shot. No.
It always got in the way for me.
Turn them off.
Yeah.
Turn them off. But what else have I done this week? Really not much. I have the normal day-to-day things I have to do every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to think if we watch anything cool. I don't think so. I'm caught on with that. No, it's been Breath of the Wild. It's pretty much taking up my time.
Okay.
Not Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom.
It is in the game, is what I said. Not just yes, but. So my week been pretty good. I beat Tears of the Kingdom, as we said. Won't spoil anything for anybody. Very, very good game. Played some Lotro. Ran around with my new mount speed.
Yeah.
Feels great. Feels really good. It did upgrade my Bjorning speed, but it didn't upgrade it all the way to the mount speed. So it does cap that at 62.
Okay.
Dead, but still very fast for a bear.
Yes.
So, very nice.
Nice.
Game's really fun. And then I've been putting a little bit of time into FF14 PvP, trying to get that mount before the season rolls over. Still want that mount. Gotta do a lot more PvP. It has the same problem that all competitive game modes have that have objectives in them and aren't just killing the enemy, in that nobody wants to play the objective. Everybody just wants to kill the enemy.
Yeah.
So, I find myself often alone on the point trying to push that objective.
Yep. Well.
So there's that. But speaking of Final Fantasy, I played a bunch of Final Fantasy 16.
Nice.
And I am probably close to 15, 16 hours in.
Okay.
It's still very early days. Having a lot of fun with the combat. Side quests are okay so far. I don't think any of them are like super great, but they're definitely like filling out the story. Like I'm getting more of the world from them, you know? It's pretty light on RPG elements so far, but they're definitely there. It reminds me a lot of like 13.2, where, hey, or like 15 almost, where, hey, yeah, you have stuff you can manage. You have like a sphere grid almost. I'm so sorry. From 10, where you spend your ability points and you can go further down the trees and stuff. But you don't have a lot of customization you can do with gear. It's mostly just which abilities you want to use and which of the icons you want to have equipped. Burnhouse Lane, Bookwalker, and Escape Academy. Nice. Very nice. I'm enjoying it so far. It feels a lot like Final Fantasy VII Remake levels of customization for the most part, which is not a bad thing. It's just, you know, a little bit different. Every Final Fantasy is a little bit different. Some of them are more RPG, some of them are less. It's not to the level that, say, Final Fantasy X is, deviation-wise, when it's, hey, your main RPG elements are just you control the party and you get new gear and you have a sphere grid, because you can't control the other party members at all, which is my biggest complaint with the game. You just control Clive, but I'm really enjoying it. Led to a lot of really weird takes from people, like every Final Fantasy does, of, well, it's not a real Final Fantasy game because you can't control the other members of the party. Like, okay, that's a weird hill to die on when most Final Fantasy games have like guest characters that you can't control at all. But I like it a lot. Torgal is great. Torgal is the best boy. He is a good dog and he's wonderful. Yeah, my biggest complaints right now are just the gear is not super well done in my mind. Like I'll craft a new sword and it'll be good for maybe 10 minutes and then I'll find or be able to buy a better sword. Like, okay, so this has the gear problem that is present in a lot of like looter games.
Yeah.
But probably shouldn't have been to that degree, you know? I don't know, I like Clive. Clive's a good boy. One thing oh, go ahead.
I think Parker.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's the only Clive I know.
One thing I didn't expect in this is the story tackles some really heavy themes, which all Final Fantasies do, right? But the one they chose to tackle was slavery. And it asked the question of who's the real slave? The person that is being forced to work, but can be freed by other people or escape or anything like that, or the person that is bound to this this societal structure and can't see past it to understand these are also people. I'm sort of with Dark at this point, where I don't know if it's handling it well.
Okay.
But I'm also not super deep into it yet, so it's possible it could pick up. I do think that the question of, you know, why aren't these people treated like humanity is rough, you know? But I think that it could wind up being really well done. There's a reason for that, Dark. It's because he's trying to change who he is. He's trying to do better. There's a reason. Yes, he's putting up with it, but there have been a couple of I'll spoil this one side quest, I guess. There's this one side quest you can do. I'll put up spoiler boot, but there's one side quest you can do early on where one of the bearers, those are the people that have become slaves, has escaped. And people didn't know that... I have done the wolf one, yeah. People didn't know that he was a bearer. He was hiding that fact, And he's escaped, and the whole town wants him found because they think he's going to be a problem, and they find bearers disgusting, and we got to find him, turn him over to the Imperials. But you have some people that understand that they're actually just people that want you to find him and to kill him so that he can, be free. And the game doesn't give you a choice. Clive is also a bearer. He's not going to kill this bearer. You find him, talk to him for a minute, you bring back proof that he's dead, and then the guy that was his best friend that is now like, well, he was a filthy bearer this whole time, and everybody's going to think I'm a bearer lover. And after he walks away, the other guy is like, hey, is he okay, though? And Clive's like, yeah, no, he's fine. But yeah, it's really heavy-handed, but
yeah.
I think it could wind up pulling it off, So, for what it's worth, Clive is trying to change things. He's just not changing them the way that you or I probably would have changed that situation, which is to make sure they never get to do that again. He's trying to change it in the anime hero way of, change the system, change it. When, realistically, the answer is stop them from ever doing that again. But I like it. It's fun so far. I'm really curious where the story is going to go because he's trying to change the system, Dark. The system. But no, it's the core story. You don't have to like it. I'm not saying I like it. I'm saying that's what he's doing. But the core story of his family and what's going on there is all really solid. And I really like the combat and the music. And it feels exactly like when a new Final Fantasy game comes out because it's a Final Fantasy.
Right on.
But I like it so far.
Cool.
I'm really worried it's going to completely fall apart with that heavy-handedness, I'm not saying it's working, Dark. I'm just saying that's what he's trying to do. You're not listening to me. I didn't say it was smart. I said he's an anime protagonist. Most of them aren't. But I'm trying to think, what else did I do this week? I don't think he's a bad character at all. I really don't think he's a bad character. I just think he's in a really bad situation where he was a slave for the last 14 years and he doesn't know what to do to fix anything. But at least he's trying. I didn't say he's succeeding, but at least he's trying. Anyway, we can just move on because I don't think we're going to agree on this one, Dark. There was something else in my week that I was going to talk about, but I don't remember what it is. We'll just move into reviews. I like it. So, starting off here, we have Crash Team Rumble.
Crash Team Rumble.
Hmm?
Okay.
So,
is this Crash Bandicoot?
yeah. This is. You remember when they announced this one, Crash Team Rumble, and they had the guy in the Crash suit come out? And...
Yeah. 80.
This is an online multiplayer strategic platformer with a competitive 4 versus 4 format, they say.
Yeah, I've tried that before. I'm being
Right.
nice.
I gotta take your name off the Ice Cream Wall of Fame from last week. You haven't earned it yet this week.
No, not this week. No.
Score is 69.
Yes, well. Like I said, I was being nice.
So, 2 reviews for you. Out of 24.
Okay.
Digital Chump says Crash Team Rumble from Toys for Bob is quite fun. Features a balanced system of gameplay, some fun characters with unique gameplay styles, and a nice set of maps that complement strategy and quick gameplay. The leveling system may work its way to max quickly, but it doesn't detour how much entertainment you're going to get from this title. The biggest concern with this game is longevity and variety. It's nice that Toys for Bob laid out a roadmap to tame some of this worry, something most companies don't do well nowadays, but only the future seasons will tell the dedication to the title. Is that the point that we got to where, well, I mean, at least they gave a roadmap?
It was roadmap's been like a big deal over the past couple of years, I guess.
Yeah, everybody's been doing them. What do you mean nobody does that anymore? The Gamer says, if you love Crash Bandicoot and you've been waiting years for what was once Wumpa League, there's probably just enough here to convince you this is a good game, but it's not. It's a bad game. They shouldn't have made Crash Bandicoot into this thing, and deep down all of us know it.
Oh, golly. Way behind, yeah.
Oof. Man.
Dark
with a 42. Was that for the percent or just for the original score? I assume it's come for the percent.
I'm gonna go 50.
All right. How are you still? No, I took you off the Ice Cream Wall of Fame. Why are you back?
Ice cream.
Don't get free ice cream, Rugrat.
Okay.
Had to buffer. Oof.
Probably so. Probably is being generous. We're trying to be nice tonight, Trey.
I see that. Will's trying to be real nice. The score is 43%. Dark was 1 off again. Dark, I legitimately am sorry, because at this point it seems like I'm doing it on purpose. I'm not. I legitimately am not. It just shows how smart you are, Dark, because you're right there, right? You know,
Watch
you
out,
figured out the
man.
algorithm. They're just really dumb about how they do their math. So, this one I had to look up because I didn't know what it was.
Watch out, bearded
Okay.
man.
There was 2 watch outs back to back. Count if you're close because we don't do it. I mean,
Well,
that's
yeah.
fair.
Horseshoes and hand grenades.
So, I didn't even know this game existed. This is Trepang 2,
Okay.
which is a gory, action-packed FPS set in the near future by Team 17.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know it existed, but high praise coming from you. Oh, okay. It's very fearish.
Okay. 82.
Okay.
Here we go. Actually, aim with 88.
Score is 78.
Really?
Hmm.
Well,
17 reviewers. These were weird reviews. I had to trim through to find some that gave actual help. But 8-Bit Digi says Trepang 2 is a satisfying, fast-paced, and over-the-top shooter. It's also a reminder of an era defined by innovation. It's an experience anyone can easily get into and will be mesmerized by the intense action. I'm sorry, mesmerized. I messed up that word. If you enjoy classics like Fear, First Encounter Assault Recon, then you will want to play Trepang 2. But Saving Content says Trepang 2 is not as good as it wants to be, or as anyone would be led
Retake.
to believe. Thank you for the retake. Trapunk Studios certainly tried emulating Monolith's for epic first-person shooter, and the gunplay certainly comes close to that, but they failed miserably at nearly everything else. This is a terrifyingly gory game, and it's great coding rooms. Let me try this again. This is a terrifyingly gory game, and it's great coding rooms in Strawberry Jam each and every time, but there's a lot of bad to get through before seeing the good. Pong 2 has only a few redeeming qualities, but even those have been done better in other games. It's sad that it's a pale imitation of Fear in every way, and is a completely forgettable experience I can't recommend even a little.
Okay.
17 reviews.
No, I'm gonna go 74.
Okay.
Will wants the game to be good.
Yep.
No, he's gonna go up in recommendation.
He believes.
Gonna drop just a bit.
The score is 69%.
I didn't expect it to drop that much, but all right.
There were quite a few reviews that were just, this game is not what I wanted it to be. And it's like, well, that's not helping me very much when it comes.
All right.
2 more for you.
All right.
Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. Yeah, I understand, Dark. For anybody who doesn't know, Ghost Trick was a DS title. This is its reboot, bringing it back out. It is a fun, quirky detective game where you used the Phantom Detective to try and figure out who killed him and also other people.
Okay.
Oh.
88.
All right. I never got to play it on DS, but I liked it a lot. Like from the stuff that I saw.
Yeah.
Like the art style is really cool. The music was really great.
Another 91 in. Okay.
The score is 86.
Oh, does that mean Waverly gets it?
Yeah, Waverly gets it.
Because you just say he's on 86.
Look, if you sit there long enough, you're going to get one. That's just how it works. Other people try to mimic it. They sit on one score and then jump to another one, you know? Just got to commit.
Is that on like gameplay, or is that on like some of the like nostalgia power you thought it would have? I wonder.
I'm hoping it's gameplay, but it is also something that people really love this series. So it could just be nostalgia.
All right.
So you have 31 reviews. I'm going to give you 2. VG247 says, all in all, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective pairs distinct gameplay with a strong story and characters you will surely become affectionate towards. I can't recommend it enough. And if you do play it, make sure to stick around until the end. Working your way through to the conclusion and discovering the fate of each beloved character is well worth it. If you give Ghost Trick a chance, I expect that, like me, you'll be hoping Capcom will deliver a new installment in Sissel's story someday.
Okay.
Whereas Outer Haven Productions says Ghost Trick Phantom Detective is a worthy remaster of a DS game you might... I'm sorry, Chad, it's very hot in this room. You might not have tried before. It won't be for everyone, but if you like a challenge, you might want to give this title a shot, especially if you enjoy a good mystery.
Okay. 80.
Soundtrack. Retake.
80.
Okay. Bro.
Well, you got one. So.
You still got one. Also, thanks, Chad. It's just hot. It's more hot outside this room before you're like, oh, well, just, open the door. No, it's still cooler in here.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is when I look down on the desk and I have my little deal that says how hot it is outside. And it says it's 96 degrees, and then I click on it, and it says, feels like 110. And I'm like, yeah, it sure does. Yeah. Making sure to drink water, out of bottled water, so now I'm drinking faucet water, and that tastes grody. But, it's water. Not everybody has access to water, so I'm just glad I do. Anyway, I'll just give you the score. This is gonna take us somewhere else. The score is 90%.
Okay.
So Pretty solid. No, it's not. It's not the Texas water that's the problem. It's my local water that's the problem.
Yeah.
Sometimes it comes out of the faucet brown.
If it's brown, drink it down. If it's black, send it back.
Yep.
We have a saying around here.
Yeah. They even tied us into the next big city because it was supposed to make the water better. It didn't. It just made the water worse. Minute 7 seconds behind. Are currently at negative 1.07 degrees.
No, I don't think so.
Finally, we have Final Fantasy 16.
All right.
Heard various opinions on it.
Yes. Oh,
97 reviews.
I bet. I'm gonna shoot for 78. I'm gonna shoot for 70. Don't know. There's a lot of people who are gonna get Final Fantasy whatever because it says Final Fantasy.
Yeah. This is one of those where I think trusting review scores is like a really bad idea. You know? Because there are going to be people that give it a good score because they love Final Fantasy, whether they play it or not. There are going to be people that give it a bad score because they hate Final Fantasy, whether they play it or not. The score is 89. Rimas was one off.
Yeah.
It's still a good game. The combat's really good. So, I have 2 reviews for you here.
Okay.
First one is from Attack of the Fanboy, who says Final Fantasy 16 is an outstanding achievement. Almost there, Rimas. Every part of it, from its characters to its combat, was put there with a purpose. Not only does it deliver satisfyingly slick action RPG combat in between masterfully directed cutscenes, but it's also a story with real heart. Most importantly, it's incredibly clear that a team of creative individuals behind every decision. The human element that permeates every aspect of Final Fantasy 16, and it'll end up becoming a lot of people's favorite Final Fantasy because of that. Again, that might be a little too much, but
are you in the open world? Can you travel the world now?
Sort of. You have zones you load into, and you can manually go back to old zones. Like, there's a world map, and you can go back to individual levels.
Okay.
Game Crater says Final Fantasy 16 is a tremendously disappointing JRPG with a clunky, shallow narrative, unengaging characters, lifeless environments, and overly simplified combat. Its few redeeming qualities, namely its visuals, and occasional intriguing story moment, are overshadowed by its plethora of flaws. Final Fantasy 16 is a hard game to recommend, even to die-hard fans of the franchise. Which, again, is like the opposite side of, I think that's too far. I think there's a good middle ground, which is, hey, this game's good. It's not like, it's good. What? Pepsi is what?
I don't know. Color chip.
I don't think you can, but I also don't know that, Dark. Not far enough in, so I disagree, but we can both agree the combat is good.
Okay.
I think the combat is too good to just go, well, it's clunky. It's like, well, no, the combat was really well thought out.
Okay.
You don't have to like it, but I think calling it clunky is a little too far. What do you think that score is going to be?
70. I think it's got the score too far out on the other side.
What score did you say?
70.
Okay. Again, this is another one that I feel like is the recommended score is just going to be crazy, either from people being like, well, yeah, it's Final Fantasy, so of course I recommend it, or, well, it's Final Fantasy, so of course I don't, you know?
Yeah.
But the answer is 93%.
Okay. It's up there.
I recorded my short early impressions review, and my recommendation was it's a good game, but it's also $70 in PS5 exclusive. So maybe just go play Hi-Fi Rush instead. I legitimately say that in my video, and I love the game. Because, that's a high bar to ask somebody that doesn't own a PS5 right now to buy that game.
Yeah.
So, 93% seems too high, even for me, as somebody who loves that game. But
I played lots of Final Fantasies, and the ones that are great are great. And there's a couple of them that are just horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. There's a mechanic in there, or the storyline is just not.
Yeah, I love Final Fantasy Remaster. Final Fantasy is like up there for me, franchise-wise. And so this was like an immediate get for me because I have a PS5. If I didn't have a PS5, I don't know that it would have been an immediate get at $70 and the cost of a full console that hasn't really come down all that much price-wise. So,
No. Well, like the first Final Fantasy was like groundbreaking, and of course that was be it.
Yeah.
Right. It was like groundbreaking when it came out, and I'd never seen anything like it. Never played 10? Okay.
10's good. It's very linear, but it's very good. Bad puzzles.
Is terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah.
And you kind of the third one's neither here nor there, really.
Right.
Then you get to the
I love 4.
fourth one's good. Fifth one, then I think it goes fourth, fifth, sixth.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Then 8 is not as good as 7.
No, I don't think 8 is as good as 5, but 8 has some cool ideas.
It has some cool stuff, but they were trying to do something really different with the graphics wise and everything in 8. 9 was a throwback, and that feels like a classic Final Fantasy game. 9 is really good. 10 will grow on you.
Yeah.
Never played 10-2.
Bad puzzles. 10-2's not good. It's got a cool job system, but I don't think it's a very good game. Pain is cool though. Great new character to introduce.
Then played 11. The next one I played, I think, was 13, and it was okay, but you were railroaded for hours.
Yeah. 11 was fun. It's a really interesting MMO. 12, I agree with Dart. 12 is great. 12 is a great game.
Okay,
13 was all right. 13-2, I liked well enough. 13-3 is one of the worst games I've ever played in my life. 14 I love, but it's an MMO. 15 is solid. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's terrible. I think it's a solid game. 16 so far seems about to be in the same camp as 15. But there's some ideas in 15 that are incredible. There's some ideas in 15 that are absolutely abysmal. And so it comes out to like 11 and 14 are both MMOs.
Yeah.
We will move on then into announcement. Hope you're excited for those. Yeah, that's the problem. 15, when I talk about like some of the best ideas in the series, 15's got them. And then they just go, yeah, and now we're going to cut forward in time because all this content that was going to be here, we cut out for DLC, and half of it we didn't finish. You made Aranea Highwind one of the coolest characters in the series, and then went, yeah, there was going to be a whole story chapter based around her. We just cut it out. We never made it. Sorry.
You know, cut content in video games. That's a topic we should talk sometime.
Yeah. We add it to the list.
Well, the like a lot of mods for a lot of games that accept modding.
Yeah.
Usually that starts out with them bringing back, cut content.
Yeah.
Would have been amazing. On 15, right?
It would have been, yeah. And 15 has great characters. That's the problem. Like, it has solid gameplay. It's not great gameplay. If 15 had 16 gameplay, whoo, but great characters, really interesting story, and then just it doesn't have a bunch of stuff that it needs. Yeah, 12 is also very. I love Bosch, and 12. My biggest problem with 12 is just that the main character is not that interesting. When you look, they give you in 12, they give you a main character that is, I'm a kid that wants to be a sky pirate. And it's like, okay, that's cool. And then they give you a sky pirate, his incredibly attractive bunny girl ally, and a knight that took the fall for his brother and has been in prison for a long time, and the princess of a kingdom that has fallen apart, that is now on the road to try and get it back by herself. And then also Vaughn's friend that's a girl that also maybe wants to be a sky pirate. It's like 4 of incredibly interesting characters, and then just Vaughn and Pinello. What?
Okay.
We'll move on to announcement. So our first announcement is Tim Showdown. Hey,
Okay.
do you like Tim?
I have no idea.
Do you like Pokemon Showdown, the website that lets you play Pokemon matches against each other?
Not really.
Yeah, that's right. She wants to get in Vaughn's pants, so she says she wants to be a Sky Pirate. Well,
Okay.
if you like Pokemon Showdown, but you want to play Tim instead, you can now play Tim Showdown, a game that has the most obvious naming choice ever, and is just Tim, but without the rest of the game. It's just the combat. You make your team, you battle, just like in Pokemon Showdown. They literally went, hey, Pokemon Showdown is really popular. What if we made one of those for Tim?
All right.
And
See
look,
how long it lasts.
I'm the first one on the street to say we need more monster collecting games that aren't just Pokemon.
Yeah.
I love them. I have a whole list of monster collecting games that I beat and love that aren't Pokemon. The answer's not to go, yeah, Pokemon did this thing, let's do it too. That's not, don't do that. At Monster Rancher, I don't think so, Remas. If I bring up the Steam charts for Tim right now, what are we looking at? Because, Cassette Beast is great. Monster Sanctuary is... on Steam, Tim has 413 people playing. Its all-time peak was 39,501 on launch week. It has not hit above 3,000 since April of 2021.
Don't give me crap about your game being a big deal if Lotro's beating you. I
Yeah.
love Lotro.
Yeah.
But you're not even you're barely pulling Lotro numbers.
Mhm.
Right?
And Dark's absolutely on it. The game was built to be an MMO Pokemon game, but they didn't go all in on it, and they didn't give a single player mode. So you don't actually level and interact with the world like in an MMO. You just play Pokemon with other people running around you all the time.
Yeah.
I agree, Dark. Pokemon on PC is a thing that should have happened a long time ago. Nintendo.
No.
Yeah.
Buy one of our systems.
Yeah. Talk about that a little bit too, because they basically said that this week.
Yeah.
So, next announcement we have is Roller Champions Jet Set Radio,
Okay.
which is pretty
Jet-
cool.
Radio, your protagonist, your main character. You were on rollerblades, weren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm right there with you, Dark. I would. Digimon World 2 is the best one. I stand by that today. The Digimon games are so good for monster collecting games. Hacker's Memory, and that's really good. So, the way that this is working is Roller Champions is getting Jet Set Radio DLC, as it were. And you can actually, yeah, that's fair. That's fair, Will. That's fair.
Yeah.
It's an action game you can play. They did really good with the accessibility options. I agree.
Nice.
Roller Champions is going to be having Jet Set Radio stuff in it, basically costumes and some music. And that's all that we know so far, but it's really cool to see it even exist,
I'm going to make a really good roller derby game.
Yeah.
Where you pick your team and upgrade wheels and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Digimon game.
Classic, where roller derby was I don't know, it had this pro wrestling feel about it, but it was all these, you're it had these big chicks on there. And
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird, but we need that game.
I agree. Digimon game, you go into a forest and mysterious Digimon. Is that the handheld ones? Sun? Not like Sun and Moon.
Oh.
Gotta play it on console. I don't blame you. For Jet Set Radio?
Yeah, I need to get my controller working with my PC. I'm having trouble with it. I don't know.
So, Dark, that could have been Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, where you go into like a fake-looking internet forest, or it could have been Digimon. What is that one called? Lost World, where you go out into, and it's Digimon 1 again, but you go out into the world and you have 2 Digimon as compared to having a team. There's a lot of good. Gum is the only one. Yeah. Gum is, and Gum's costume is going to be in this crossover. So it was neither of those. Well, I don't know then.
Yeah, I told you a horse girl. Neither. I knew I called it.
Could be Digimon World Next Order. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, Waverly. Yeah.
After the Cyber one. Because it was Digimon World Cyber Sleuth and the Digimon World Next Order. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. Digimon World Next Order. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory.
Fair enough. Mm-hmm.
Next up, talking about things I like, Guild Wars 2 has a new expansion announced. It's called Secrets of the Obscure.
That's kind of a weak name.
I agree. The only thing I like about it is the abbreviation is SOTO.
Yeah.
And that SOTO, like unironically, if they called it Guild Wars 2 SOTO, I would have been happier than Secrets of the Obscure, because saying GW2 SOTO sounds way better.
Okay.
Oh, you play Digimon Survive. Okay. Yeah. I like Digimon Survive a lot, but I never finished it because it's really, really long-winded. It is a visual novel, and they have a lot of extra dialogue in there that doesn't really need to be there.
That's what I'm kind of getting from the name.
Yeah.
Like, you tell me something's obscure, it doesn't quite mean the same as secret.
Right.
But if we break it down to, it's something that not a lot of people know about, it kind of fits the same category.
Yeah. Also, the trailer's not good. Like, ArenaNet, please. Please. I need you to look into how you make your trailers and get with some marketing, please. I'll make a trailer for you, ArenaNet, because I know I can do better than that trailer. And I don't mean that to be like, oh, this sucks. I mean that as in, the trailer doesn't tell anybody anything. It is shots of things out of context that aren't done in a way to hype me up. It is shots of like a thing blows up and then there's fire on the trees, and that's all I get from that. There's no screams of people running. There's no cuts to people begging for help or anything. Like, it's nothing. And then it goes, "Can you save the realm, champion?" And it's like, okay, look. This is not 2001.
It sounds like an old gotcha commercial.
Right. We can do something different, please. That aside, the stuff that's going to be in this expansion looks pretty cool. And the expansion's coming August 22nd. They're not adding any new elite specs, so no new jobs. But instead, what they're adding is new weapons to... Oop, I didn't pull that up on that window. New weapons to every job. Yeah, it sounds like a mobile game advertisement. Yep. So, the way that Guild Wars works when it comes to your classes is you have elite specs you can equip, and they give you access to a new weapon for your class, and every weapon has 5 individual abilities that it can use, and you can mix and match weapons. And so every new weapon that's added to your class changes fundamentally the way you can play that class. Not the way you have to, but the way you can. It gives you more options. Now, they're taking the weapons and unlocking them from the elite specs, so you can use each weapon that you got from the elite specs with any other spec. So now you can use those abilities with the other specs, extra stuff they give you, and then they're adding a new weapon to every class. So you're effectively getting 4 new weapons for every class with this expansion, which is pretty cool. It would be like if you took... I think Guardian is a class on Lotro that can use every basic weapon but none of the magic ones, right? Because it can use the shield, it can use an axe, it can use a great sword, it can use,
Yeah.
It would be like if suddenly they went, and now it can also use magic weapons.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool. I'm really excited for this. And there's going to be a special like beta that starts this weekend on the 29th where you can play around with it ahead of time. So pretty stoked for that, but just some cool stuff shown off, I'm excited. We don't really know anything else right now, but
Right on.
cool stuff. And that'll lead us into the news. So, Alan Wake 2 is going to be digital only.
Yeah. And I was just thinking, I was holding the Tears of the Kingdom box today, and I was like, I really wish somebody, at least maybe with like a AAA game, would give you, a package. Not a special, not a big special thing where you got to pay all this extra, get, a booklet or whatever. But just, a run. I think Tears of the Kingdom would have been one to do it on.
Yeah.
Like Microsoft would do it with the next Halo.
Yeah.
That have a case for it, actually have like information in there.
Yeah.
For it. It doesn't have to be. Alan Wake seems just being digital. Seems like you're cutting a lot of people short.
Yeah, and it's also going to start a trend, I'm afraid, because they specifically came out with like a full statement on why. And the reason is because it gives them more time to polish the game, because they don't have to go gold as soon anyway. You're not playing as Alan. That's a good point.
Kind of. I don't fully buy that excuse.
I agree.
What it does is it lets them not have to pay for packaging.
Yes.
I doubt they've lowered the price on the game.
Right. And as far as we know, they haven't. And I expect to see a lot of devs pulling this excuse now.
Yeah.
I agree with that. In that case, just push it back till you got it done, and then you can still release it physical. So, it definitely, like you said, it's an excuse, and I think we're going to see the excuse a lot more. Because there are going to be people that buy it and go, well, of course, yeah, they didn't have to put it out physical. They got more time to work on it. Release dates don't have to be set in stone, man. They can shift. They shift all the time anyway. Like
Right. Yeah, they move anyway. Right on.
And a lot of the problem I'm seeing people say is, okay, then release it digitally, but release a physical version later.
Yeah.
And they're not going to do that.
No. So your excuse gets blown out of the water then.
Yeah.
They do. They do need to be complete.
Right.
Way too much stuff is rushed. But
yeah, do like the indie game thing, right? Where your game gets big and then you can afford to license it and ship it out, and then you make a physical copy.
Yeah.
But it won't.
Nah.
It's cheaper if they don't. So they won't. Speaking about cheaper, the Realm Online is dying.
Yeah. Which, as far as MMOs go, when we use that term, it's been dead for a long time.
Right.
But this is... I don't know if it's the oldest MMO, but it must be pretty close.
Yeah, it's an OG for sure, right?
Close to 30, right?
Yeah. It was 27 years old if it had made it through the 30th. But June 30th is the shutdown day, and originally that was all we knew. More of the stories come out, and the current devs working on the game put out a statement that was like, hey, we wish this wasn't the case, but we can't get the rights to the game and the license expires. Because the dev team changed partway through. And they didn't own the rights to the game. They were just allowed to keep working on it. The people that own the rights, which is Norseman Games, are not selling it. So
I don't know.
At first, I wasn't fully on board with believing them.
Yeah.
Until they said that over the next few days they would be issuing prorated refunds to subscribers that have subscribed through the year, and that they, as the dev team, will be covering that cost. It's like, they didn't have to do that, so I feel like they're probably telling the truth.
Yeah.
But
that's kind of weird. I wonder. Yeah, obviously the right thing. I kind of wonder, because it becomes, when games get that older, it becomes a hardware issue, not just software.
Could be.
The servers they're using to hold that can read that format, and everything doesn't quite communicate well with newer systems.
Yeah. I agree. It's a shame. It's a game that was eventually going to have to die anyway, as you're saying, because it wouldn't.
Yeah.
But the biggest shame to me is that this team's been playing. They've only been working on it for the last 5 years.
Okay.
So it's like they got this project 5 years ago, and now just, hey, yeah, your 5 years of work, good job on it, but it's gone now. It's null and void.
Yeah.
Oh.
Feel bad. I know it doesn't have a big player base.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's people out there that are going to be older that have probably been trudging through this, because that Realm's one step up from a mud.
Right.
Just barely. I mean, it's graphic, but
all we really know about that, it could be that Norseman Games will put out a statement and say that they're lying and it's actual some other problem. Until then, we just don't know, but the game will shut down June 30th at 1800 EST.
Yeah, and it could be they won't sell the rights at the price we want.
Yeah, it very well could be.
And we're not going up to the price that they want.
Yeah, it very well could be.
Yeah.
I wish I could tell you there was a lot of people in the Reddit thread where it got announced, because they put the post originally on Reddit. And I wish I could tell you there was a lot of people there talking about how sad they were the game was going, but it was mostly just people saying, I didn't realize it was still around.
Yeah.
Next up, news-wise, I know you were so excited for this one when we first talked about it. Wolong and Naraka Blade Point, the crossover's been revealed. It's just cosmetics.
That's it.
Yep.
That's like that's the Smite route, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just skins you get. Like they crossed over with the turtles.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got turtle skins for some of your warriors or whatever.
So, if they had just announced skins and not said anything beforehand, I don't think anybody would have been disappointed. I think people would have just been like, oh, that's cool. All right.
Yeah.
But because they made an announcement of an announcement and got people hype up for it, people are pretty annoyed.
This is not bad as Diablo Immortal, but it's kind of in that same region.
Yeah. Don't make announcements of announcements. Just announce things, please. So that's where that is. That's all. There's nothing more to that. Just frustrating. Next up for the news. How am I going to type all this out on here? The MGS Master Collection Volume 1 will have physical editions. So unlike Alan Wake, there'll be physical copies.
Okay.
It's going to be physical on Switch, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X. And this is MGS 1, 2, and 3. However, the Switch version has something really funky going on with it, which is there's only 2 gigs of data on the cart that you purchased, and you got to download 22 more just to be able to play the games. Now that may not seem like enough or like a problem for a lot of people if they don't own a Switch, because 22 gigs is not that big of a deal on PS5, PC, Xbox.
Yeah.
it's a lot on a Switch.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I get that for sure. I really don't like the idea of you go to a store and buy a game and it says 2 gigs on it, and you put it in and it prompts you to download 22 more. Nobody's going to be ready for that on their Switch.
Now, the Switch isn't impressive because it's as far as the big 3 systems go, it is by far the least powerful.
Yeah.
And they can do some amazing stuff on it. You can't do on the Switch what you can do on the Xbox or the PlayStation as far as pushing graphics, realistic stuff, getting too much on the screen, that type of thing.
Also, I don't know. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say it's kind of a weird thing. It's not a, like you said, for the Switch. That's not a update I'm going to be prepared for.
Right. Also, I don't know what they've done to these games, but I have all 3 of those games on this, and it's not 22 gigs for all 3 of those. Yeah. MGS1 is like a gig. MGS2 is like 2.2 gigs, and MGS3 is like 2.6 gigs.
You might be downloading a little bit of a emulator type software with the game to play it on the Switch.
It feels like that's probably what you're doing. Imagine they included multiple carts like how old. Yeah, that would have been the way to do it. Just, hey, you got to switch carts.
Yeah. Got to put in a new cart. That sounds like something that what's his name would do.
Mm-hmm. Also,
something to that.
It's $60.
Yeah.
Throw that out there. It's rough, it's not it's a weird choice. I don't like that,
I think it'll sell pretty well. It's just not something that, and I like Metal Gear Solid. I'm just not into it. I'm just not.
Yeah.
Not that much. Get a 1 terabyte. That's all you need.
Yeah. What is the selection? Let me make sure it's 60 on Switch. I assume it's gonna be, but let me double check that. I've got Konami's deal here. Okay, so it is more. I have a little bit more information here. The bonus content that they mentioned is not just bonus content. It's games. It's Metal Gear and Snake's Revenge for the original Master System.
Yeah.
And then it's also... Go ahead.
The NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System, right?
No, they were on the Master Famicom, the one that came before the NES, like only in Japan, but then it was on the NES, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it also comes with a graphic novel and graphic novels for both Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, and then the Metal Gear Solid 1 soundtrack. I bet that soundtrack is partly why it's taking up so much space on Switch, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But either way, even at... Okay, so the full lineup is Metal Gear Solid 2 for the Master System, then Metal Gear for the NES, Snake's Revenge for the NES, MGS 1, 2, and 3. So technically it's 7 games for that price. But again, I'm not saying that you should just put them on a computer and be able to run them because you bought them 20 years ago or anything like I did, but you theoretically could do that and then it wouldn't cost you $60 to play games that you purchased 20 years ago and still have physically and can't play on any current hardware because they don't let you play discs that you bought. Yeah, I bet it does play better, yeah. Oh. You can get each game separately for $20 though.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, it is 60 on Switch as well, having double checked. Our final bit of news for tonight is also Nintendo based. Nintendo is trying to think ahead.
Okay.
So, Nintendo has announced that for whatever their next console is going to be, it will be a smooth transition using Nintendo accounts. I remember that marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does this mean your game purchases will transfer over? Or does it just mean you can sign in with your new account or your old account on the new console and all your settings are there? Because if it's the first one, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm betting it's the second one because the eShop and the Wii Shop both tied into your Nintendo account, and I can't download stuff from there on my Switch.
No. But it just means, the game cartridges aren't going to change.
Right.
Use the same game cartridges.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, we don't yet know what the plans are for a new console, but this is incredibly vague.
It is, and I don't know that Nintendo's really putting a lot into making a new console.
Right.
Because they don't need to.
Right. I'd love a more powerful console, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No. And that may just be, if anything, that's all they do. They put a bigger chip or memory into a Switch.
Yeah.
And offer the Switch. Well, they've already got the Switch Pro, right?
Yeah.
They have, Switch Gold or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really annoying. Oh, the ad started. Okay, I'm going to take another drink real quick. Cool off.
Right. That's not good.
Yeah, that shouldn't be that way.
You don't need flashing lights to sell something.
No.
If you warn somebody. Unless you're selling flashing lights, I guess.
I guess so, but even then, like maybe don't flicker them too fast. No, I don't understand. I mean, I understand why it's for money, but backwards compatibility used to be a thing that consoles cared about. I remember I have in front of me because I found it the other day and I was so excited to see it again. The original DS that came with a slot for Game Boy games. You know what plays in here? Not just Game Boy Advance games, Game Boy Color games, original Game Boy games. They all play in here in that one slot.
Yeah, but that's also after that system has been out for a while. Because that's an updated DS, right?
No, this is original DS. This was launch.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the as old as it gets when it comes to it.
It doesn't have the beveled top though.
No, that was that's what it's got.
Yeah. It's still got a flat, smooth top.
Mm-hmm.
At launch, I thought they had a beveled top. I've got one here, where the top screen is actually a little bit thick.
I don't remember if that was that one or the 3DS that came with that, or if it was the new DS, which was another console in that line for some reason. But no, I don't expect they're going to let you transfer your stuff. But they used to. It used to be a thing everybody did. Original Xbox games could play on 360.
They've always fought against that.
Yeah.
Buy games that says backwards compatibility has usually been because enough people have yelled about it.
Yeah.
PS3 wasn't going to be backwards compatible at all.
Yeah.
When the Xbox One launched, it wasn't backwards compatible until they made it better with software.
Yeah.
They've always fought against that.
Yeah.
To get people to buy the new console. But yeah.
Frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
I get it from a money perspective, but also a lot of the games that I own that I want to play, you haven't even re-released, even if I wanted to buy them.
Right.
So just add in backwards compatibility, man. It's not that hard. It's not costing you anything, and you're not gaining anything when I emulate it because you didn't. You're not getting anything either way. But if you would port the game and backwards compat the game, but you port it with like updated graphics, okay, yeah, maybe I'll buy it again. I don't know. I'm at this point right now where unless whatever new console comes out has a game I just absolutely have to have, I don't have any reason really to get it. Because my PC can play everything that I want to play that I can't play that's behind me. And the consoles I got can play everything else. Yours were both flat? Now mine's not flat. It's definitely got the curve to it there.
You close it over the top behind the screen.
Yeah.
It like came up. There was an angle and like a flat part.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was a little bit thicker.
That's interesting.
I don't know. YouTube does not respect between YouTube and Restream, they do not respect the second law of thermodynamics.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how they do it, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where my in this room somewhere, but I'm not gonna go digging for it right now.
Fair enough. I'll see if I can find my one for next stream.
Okay. So, with our usual state of Nintendo's going to do something, none of us knows what it is, and we're probably not going to like it, let's throw it over to Rundgren's Corner.
With a birthday, and it's Tobey Maguire's birthday.
Oh.
Happy birthday, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's about to be checking scripts tonight, so
yeah.
Okay, we got some free time. I'm sure he'll catch up. But when you do, sir, happy birthday to you. On that. Yeah, the OG Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, happy birthday, Tobey Maguire. It's also, I can't remember, the lead singer of Sixpence and the Richer.
Okay.
It's her birthday today, too.
Okay.
Anne. Ooh, I feel bad. But I get that.
Do not know. I'm sorry.
Two birthdays today. See that. And she's a Texas girl, so that's why I knew that one was.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a messed up story for you today.
Okay.
So I got to tell you about this lady named Shelly Puchalski. She's 39. And she had an accident. I'm not going to tell you what the accident was yet. I'm going to tell you what everything she's gone through. Because she got messed up her face real bad. She had to get 40 stitches in the face. Became infected, would not heal. They tried to do a skin graft over her nose. The surgery was botched. It was infected more than they thought, so it infected that. The grafts weren't taking, so skin was just falling off her face. On that, she got it was like down to the bone. There was a hole on her head. You could look down to see her skull. She had bone inflammation. A year later, she got diagnosed with bone inflammation, osteomyelitis.
Okay.
I think what it's called. I am not a doctor, so I can't say it. She had place on her nose with no skin on it. They had to basically kind of like remove part of the skin on her face because she eventually went back in to do another skin graft. And basically, the way it's described, they cut her from ear to ear to remove all the infection and rework the skin grafts.
And
she's had a horrible time. She has some trauma from it. She get like looking in the mirror is like a hard thing for her. She don't recognize herself. She doesn't see herself in the mirror, which is a really weird thing. And for the past couple of years, she's stayed inside. She hasn't been seen by anybody but her close friends. They are trying to do some more stuff for her, and she's supposed to get married She's supposed to marry her boyfriend, a real estate developer named David Miller. Supposed to get married in December, and they're trying to get the surgeries done. But like the part of the way into it, she found out that she had sepsis. They call it sepsis, which is good because if you don't catch sepsis, you start losing limbs or you just die. You get an infection on your arm and it gets sepsis, probably going to cut your arm off.
Yeah.
Which is, none of that. You didn't have to deal with any of that, but they figured out the sepsis. But the past couple of years of her life have just been really rough.
That sounds like it.
Complication after complication. On this. Let's find one more thing in the article I was going to tell you. Yeah, and after the original botched surgery, when she went back to discuss it, she was having problems. They said that she didn't get taken seriously about it. Yeah. So it's been horrible, and I dragged you all through that.
Yeah.
And before you all through that, I know all of you are like, this is terrible. She had to move. This happened in September 2019.
Okay.
And had to move to Florida, of all places, for insurance reasons, so she could be, I guess, close to the hospital or whatever. But yeah, skin just falling off her face. Looked horrible. I'm not putting any pictures up, obviously.
Please don't.
Right. But this all happened. All of this trouble she's gone through over the past 4 years now, still fighting with this, skin falling off her head and face, nose, all that, was because she tripped over her Shih Tzu on a jog and fell down and hit her face. That's why I don't want to give you the accident first.
Yeah?
Yeah. She tripped over her dog, and this is all the complications she's been dealing with since out for a jog with her dog, her Shih Tzu, in September of 2019, and she tripped over it and hit her face.
We are such fragile creatures.
I know. From everything that explaining, you would expect, like, okay, there was a car crash and her face hit the windshield.
Or radiation.
Yes. That seems like it would be good. No, she tripped over her dog. And, her life has basically been ruined because of her small dog.
Man.
Yeah. The skin just falling off the bone is, it hadn't been out in public for like 2 years unless it's really early in the morning or real late at night.
Man, it is like a 50-50 with you. Sometimes I get really heartwarming stories.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get something that just makes me want to curl up into a ball in a corner.
Well, I know. And because the only thing, bruises, yes. Yeah. So some of the trips I've had in my life, I'm like, boy, that could have went a lot worse.
Man.
I don't know. Hopefully, the final surgeries, she gets them done. The infections are gone. They get the skin grafts to stick. There's no sepsis, and she can get married.
Yeah, hopefully so, man.
She can go through with all that. But yeah, really rough past 4 years for tripping over a dog. And I picked this one because it was a few months ago, I had the one where the guy went to the emergency room and they were like, "You've been in a car crash." He's like, "No, I tripped over my cat going down the stairs."
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
man,
if you want to tie it in with the whole animal uprising news reports that we were running there for a while, it fits. It fits. I'm just saying. Maybe the Shih Tzu did it on purpose. I don't know.
Maybe so. And I gotta try and be funny after that. Let's talk about your assignment. Man, all right.
No. If it had been like an actual accident, radiation or something like that, nothing. I would.
Yeah.
I'd have skipped over the story. Wouldn't brought it up.
No, I understand.
Her dog is the.
I understand. It doesn't feel right to laugh at her after everything that happened.
it's morbidly kind of funny, right? It's like somebody says I calls you and says I tripped over the dog.
Oh, it's fascinating.
You'd
It's
be
just
all right.
I can't bring myself to laugh. It's just she's been through too much.
Right. Are you okay? You tripped over the dog. Did you hurt yourself anyway? I got a couple bruises, right? No,
Right.
fine. No, 4 years later, my skin's falling off my face still.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. So you didn't beat the beast inside.
No. We did make progress though.
Yeah.
Walk away from that with something.
Well, I have a poll for you, dear viewers. I have games that are on screen. As usual, please just say 1, 2, or 3. Please do not say the name of the games out loud.
Let's see what's coming.
See how it goes.
We shall see.
I am really excited. A couple new games that I got code for. I say new. They're not new as in like they just came out. But new as in I just got code for them. And I'm adding them to the list. So I'm excited for the possibilities.
2
seems to be in the lead right now. I felt like it probably would be. And I have, if it wins, I have a story to tell. Yeah, I think 2 right now is
it's a safe bet for right now.
It's 4-1 right now for 2.
Okay.
We still have about a minute to go there. So I was going to throw out a couple quick plugs.
Okay.
I watched a really interesting video this week from Carl Jobst, one who does all of the like speedrun coverage and everything, on the lady that has the world record for speed typing and how she shouldn't because she never did it. So if you're interested in that, the speed typing record from 1985 and the mystery that is the QWERTY versus Dvorak keyboards, then go pull up that video because it is a really interesting story.
So now I'm wondering that she didn't do it on a QWERTY board.
Well, she did it on a Dvorak, supposedly.
Okay.
I'll pull up a link real quick, chat. If there's other people interested too, I'll go ahead and pull up a link. And then I'll also plug, there is a YouTuber called Doug that makes, I say YouTuber as in like, as if people wouldn't know who I'm talking about. He is one of the biggest streamers right now, both on Twitch and YouTube. And he did a stream, he does a lot of stuff with ChatGPT, playing with ChatGPT and coding stuff with it. And he did a stream that was ChatGPT. There's a link for you on Twitch side, and I'll put it on the YouTube side as well. ChatGPT playing a old Pajama Sam adventure game, and coding all that, and it was really, really cool. Why is the YouTube chat not? Can I? YouTube chat. There it is. There you go.
What? Gamsaha Minida?
I think that's supposed to be thank you.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
So 2 has won the vote, as I expected it to.
Okay.
You will be playing The Beast Inside.
Really? Okay.
It's time to finish it. So when I almost gamed the system today. When I roll the dice, I got an 8, which was Beast Inside. And I was like, man, he just played that last week. Let me roll again and see. And I got a different number. And then I rolled for the second game, and I got an 8. And I said, man, but he just played it last. Let me try. I'll roll the other 2, and we'll see. Roll another one, got a different number. Roll again for the last one, got an 8. Went to reroll just to see, got another 8. And I was like, all right, well.
It's supposed to be on the tray.
It's supposed to be, so here it is.
Finish that game.
So you'll be going back to the Beast Inside. Try and finish it off.
Yeah.
Oh. You got any plugs for us, sir?
No. No, I don't think so. Not this week.
Okay.
You said that earlier. No, I think I'm good. No plugs this week. I'm good.
Okay. So we'll be back tomorrow with Rundgren playing The Beast Inside. And hopefully part final on that. Coffee's always coffee, yeah.
Yes.
Thursday we'll be talking about Roman mythology. And
Yes.
Friday we'll be painting some goats.
Those are dark.
Yeah, I already primed them black, so
Okay.
we'll be slap chopping them up, making them look nice, and then painting them.
And you have to.
Well, they're all
Yeah.
goat men, so I guess they're already half goat.
Yes.
I like my goat boys. And then what I'm going to do right now is alternate 40K minis and Monster Hunter minis. So we'll do the goats this week, and then next week we'll finish the Wing Zero, and the week after that we'll paint some Monster Hunter minis.
Nice.
Well, chat, I hope that you had a good time tonight. I hope that you don't go into a corner and think about all that poor woman's been through for the rest of the evening, like I'm probably going to do. We're going to go, and I'm going to eat some crackers, because I've had them sitting here this whole time and been thinking about them. But we're starting G, so expect some G talk next week. But until next time, I've been Trey.
I've been Rundgren.
Slow down, Will.
This has been the Full Spectrum Podcast. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum. Life. Offer.